Welcome to the interview with Daniel Moeller, where he shares more about his journey as an artist, his new crowdfunding campaign, and tips for launching a successful project and building a community.
I'm Daniel Moeller. I'm an artist and a writer, and where this all kind of started was just, even as a child, my parents said I was picking up a pencil and drawing pictures before I ever wrote anything. And art and just storytelling in general has always been a very important part of my life. For me, it's just soul fuel all the time. If I'm not creating, I get depressed. I feel, life gets very bleak. So that it for me, it's just the source of life itself. I feel like we're here to create as human beings. So, okay, so you can actually find my crowdfunding campaign at crowdfundr.com/psychonaut5. That's just the number five, not the letter. So it's pretty easy to do, which is another great thing about Crowdfundr. They give you really easy links to be able to promote out to people. But you can also find me on danielmoellerweb.com is my website. My Instagram handle is the real Daniel Moeller. The reason why I use that is because my old one got hacked many, many, many years ago, and I created a new one, kind of as a joke, but it's taken off. So, yeah, come out there and find me and interact with me. Let's have a conversation and have some fun.
You're crowdfunding two comic books. Why launch them together and what makes each one unique?
Yeah, so I'm crowdfunding two comic books. I have been working on for the past 4 years or so two comic book series intermittently, and I've reached the milestone of a number five issue in each one. And I kind of finished them both together within the same month, and I thought, why not launch them together? They both are under my Psychonaut Comics imprint. They both deal with concepts of magic and the paranormal and all the things that really excite me. But So there's two series. One of them is called Psychonaut Presents, and it's more of a memoir comic. A lot of autobiographical elements about my experiences with the paranormal, my experiences with spirituality, and most specifically, working with psychedelics with indigenous ritual ceremonial masters in Peru and other places across the planet. Those experiences are very important to me and are kind of one of those things that, fill my cup in life, as it were. And so Psychonaut Presents is sort of like intermittent stories of different experiences that I had. And then the other one is called the Simon Myth Chronicles. This particular comic is subtitled The Broken Chalice. And that's my fiction series. And it's a continuous story about a modern day wizard. His name is Simon Myth. And he works for a department of the government that regulates magic across the United States. So it's in a world where magic is just known. It is kind of a common part of life. And he spends the series fighting off astral anomalies, these anomalies in existence that push through from the other realms that really shouldn't be there. So he's there to regulate them. So it's a fun, whimsical series. I'm having a great time with it. They're both, very similar in tone, but each have their own individual nuances as well. And I think anybody who's interested in anything different, strange, or weird, have spiritual leanings or leanings towards the paranormal, they're going to love these books. And I've especially been told people that are fans of things like the X-Files will particularly enjoy the Simon Myth Chronicles. So, yeah.
How long did it take to launch your campaign and how are you promoting it?
Well, it really didn't take long at all. It just took making the books and doing research in regards to printing and whatnot. The books are already made for the campaign. So they're done, they're complete. One of the reasons why I chose Crowdfundr is it was just really easy to get set up and started for the crowdfunding campaign. So it took no time at all to get it set up. But I have taken quite a few weeks in trying to build up my social media profile, reaching out to people and starting to advertise early. So I gave myself a good month to really get my name out there and start generating, I don't know if a fan base, but more of a community of people that, see what I'm posting and are engaging in content. I really could have probably gotten Crowdfundr up and going within a day because it was so easy. But I gave myself quite a few weeks to just kind of build up that community base. In terms of, my approach to promoting it and reaching to audience, there is the comics community. It is a thriving community online and offline. But I also wanted to extend past that. The concepts of my two comic series deal with all sorts of esoteric concepts. Some of them are based in reality and are even based on research that I've done. So I think that my books will have a lot of appeal to those outside of the community, people that are interested in paranormal concepts, new age communities, esoteric communities. So my whole goal is to start kind of reaching out to those particular venues and attending shows and conventions and selling my books for those particular areas as well, and getting on a lot of their shows to help promote. So seeing if I can kind of cross-pollinate the comics medium with some of these other types of genres that don't normally exist within the comics medium.
Are social media and podcasts your main promo channels?
Yes, yep, yeah. But I think that it's very important for people to know that not just on social media, it's very important to gather a community of people that are willing to follow you and generate some sort of a newsletter. Good old-fashioned email is actually a great way to be able to consistently communicate with people. And then whenever you are able to get people to sign up onto a newsletter, you have those names. Those names, those people are always there to be able to receive what you have to offer. So I would not underestimate the value of that.
What are you aiming to fund? Production, creative goals, or general support?
A couple things. I'm looking to fuel general support for my work through this campaign. I want to again build and generate a community, and I thought a crowdfunding campaign would be a great way to do that. But really, I think ultimately what I want to do is be able to print enough that I can start attending shows and conventions and festivals. And I think the best way to be able to interact with people, online is great, but in person is so important. The interactions you can have with people, if people can be in the room with me and I can talk about my work, you're going to feel a much more visceral impact, as to what it means to me, and to have that product hand delivered to you. I think it's very important. So that is my ultimate goal with this really is to not only build that online community, but I want to build it elsewhere. I want to build it offline, and I need a print run of books in order to do that. So because of that, my prices are set so that not only are people just buying the book itself, but I make it clear you're also investing in my future. You're investing in me in being able to grow and build out and to reach people on a whole new level. So that's partly what people are doing as well, is they're just investing in me and my work and my creative career, which is really appreciated. I really appreciate that.
Why did you choose Crowdfundr and what do you like most about it?
Yeah, so the main reason why I chose it, I mean, there's really a couple. I tend to be a guy that isn't going to go for whatever the top most popular platform or thing to use. I usually try to find something that isn't as well known, but still has, a thriving working model behind it. And, I did a lot of research and, Kickstarter is great, but I think there's strikes going on and there's, other things about that I didn't really, care for. As I mentioned earlier, Crowdfundr was so easy to use. It was the easiest platform to be able to just get my profile up, going, boom, boom. I could have launched in a day. But also there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of flexibility in how people set their reward tiers, which is different than the other platforms because there's not a lot of flexibility there. Someone buys that one reward tier, they're kind of stuck with what they have there. But I've already had cases where people say, "Hey, I can only afford this tier. Can we swap out this and that?" And the flexibility is completely there. Another feature that of Crowdfunder that really drew me is most platforms have an all or nothing model, but with Crowdfunder, there's the keep it all. So you can do either or. The reason why I like that is because I want to be able to just raise whatever money I can. If I don't reach this certain arbitrary goal, whatever, I still want to print those books and get those books to the people. I'm not going to limit my audience because I didn't reach, that certain goal. Maybe I only got to 90% or whatever. I still want to reach those 90% people. I want to promise them their books. And that's what I loved the most about Crowdfunder and what drew me to it, was to be able to have that option. And then as I've been doing my campaign and executing it, there's all sorts of fun features like you were talking about earlier, and ways to update people on the crowdfunder. There's a really easy way to be able to just email your contributors that it's like no bother at all in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, its ease of use is great, and I've been spending more time on crowdfunder than I have my own regular social media. So I do appreciate the platform and model.
What are your future goals as a creator, and how do you see your journey evolving?
Well, my goals are always just to be able to share what I create, but also, as I stated before, the building of community is very important to me. I don't really agree with the old adage that sometimes people just write a book or create a comic or do artwork just for themselves. You're creating it so somebody else can consume it, so somebody else can respond to it and have a reaction or just observe or whatever. We create art for other people. So in that community is very, very important, and that's my top goal moving here from here on out. And how I see my creative journey, I mean, I don't know. I want to always keep it fun and I want to keep it light, but I always want to keep growing and challenging myself. I feel like I need to check my pulse if I'm doing the same thing now as I was, 5 years ago. So, if whatever I can do to push myself to get better, and to find different ways of being able to express myself and different ways of being able to get the work out there, I'm always very open to that.
What advice would you give to indie creators launching their own projects?
Well, my advice for indie comic creators who might be thinking about launching their projects, use Crowdfunder first. It would be a really good thing to start out with, but also just keep at it. I suggest getting your project made first, or if not fully made, at least to the extent where you just have some finishing touches to put on it. I've had much more positive response from people to my campaign because the product is done. They're not investing in something that they don't know if it's going to be complete or not. I mean, it's there, it's ready to go. I even have proof copies in hand. So and I show that to people and talk with people about it. So I think that's what's really important. That's what gets people excited is like, oh, okay, so we just need to, make sure that you're funded, and then we can get our books or whatever. I mean, they're going to get them anyway, but also engaging with the contributors is very important, I think, for anybody who's going to be doing a campaign like this, because I'm getting them invested in actually sharing the information out themselves. So I've offered some extra rewards for those that are like sharing my work out there and trying to get contributors on board. Like I'm offering free commission artwork, or extra free comics to them. So just, keep things going and alive and up the ante, for yourself and for everyone else, just to keep the excitement going.